What's up, pod pals? It's your buddy Adam, and you are listening to Podcasting Business School, the show where I teach podcasters how to love their podcast like a hobby and build it like a business. This is a podcast audit episode with my pod pal Christian from the Fly Fishing Insider podcast. Christian, welcome to the show.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. Been a long time listener of all these interviews, and they help a ton. So I'm looking forward to this.
Well, I appreciate that, and your time has come. It's cool, interacting with people that have listened to a few of these, and then they decide to come on. I think that's how it's supposed to work. So that's always a nice thing to see. Now,
Yeah.
I want to pin our ears back and get after it because I've got some ideas cooking, but I want to make sure that we're aiming in the direction that you want to take things. So
Yep.
let's set a 6-month goal, like I tend to do here. Between now and mid 2024. Let's say things are really cooking. Let's describe, an ideal situation of, growth, monetization. What do we want to achieve? What would a really nice surge of momentum look like for you in the next 6 months?
So the podcast has gone up and down with regard to revenue in different realms. I have some things that are limitators. Like I do have to run some dynamic syndicate ads, and that's a revenue generator. But I have a number of resources from revenue, from affiliate sales to workshops, webinars, things like that, and then services. And I think for me, by the end of the year or halfway through the year, I'd be at that like 75K plus mark. And then you're really making momentum to be doubling that within another 6 to 12 months.
Okay, cool. Now, you're in the fishing space, and I've got, I fish, and I'm from Indiana. I grew up in Indiana,
Okay.
so but I've never fly fished before, so that's definitely something on the books to learn. But I do my fair share of hunting as well, like sitting up in a tree
Mm,
with a bow and arrow, and like just the main thing that really hit me, I was like, man, this is like an affiliate gold mine with
it
just
is.
referrals for like guides, fishing experiences, like, week-long getaways with a guided tour, all that stuff. It seems like it's just ideal for that. What kind of action do you have brewing in that lane right now?
So I started more and more affiliate sales with regard to products. So I do run a blog. I'm driving traffic to that. I have social networks and email marketing, et cetera. So that's product oriented affiliate sales.
Okay.
So like click to buy kind of thing.
Okay.
I use Amazon and direct affiliates and other affiliate programs. The difficulty there is most of those are not high dollar products. Even the high dollar products are $1,000 just for a nice rod or reel or waders.
Okay.
So the income isn't massive there. Where I make most of my referral business money is on guided trips from guides and or lodging. And I usually make a percentage of my sale there. So I'll contact a guide or lodge and I'll say, for your services, I'm going to send people to you. In regard to that, you pay me X percent and I make that. And I do pretty good on that. I'm having a little more difficulty driving people there in volumes. I can do it in small batches. I can give direct referral, meaning someone will contact me and say, what's this place like or that person like? And I can get a referral that way. The good news is when I get one person, I usually get anywhere from 2 to 10.
Right.
So it can compound drastically. It's not very predictable in that manner, but it can do very well.
Okay.
That's, I
Okay.
think, probably my best position to make money because the volume is there, the value is there, and the cost of the good is high, but it's extremely competitive. Everybody offers that, right?
Okay. Okay. So I think this is where the low hanging fruit is as far as ideas. And I think the key is going to be like when I introduce a new online course or a coaching service, I kind of ramp up a 90-day campaign. And at the end of the 90 days is when I open up the cart and actively promote that. But leading up to that, I'm going, what content do I need to be putting out to perk up the ears of the ideal purchaser of
Mhm.
that and who, or like in your instance, like who needs to be coming on the show to kind of perk up the ears or even like solo episode topics. But like, I think if you could look at a specific lodging package guided tour, like something that's like very, seasonal or time sensitive for different parts of the year. Like maybe one is an Alaska fishing trip and the other
Yep.
one's like a southern state fishing trip during the winter or something like that. Really building relationships and going, okay, it doesn't have to be 90 days, but maybe it's 4 to 6 weeks out. You go, all right, we're going to do this Alaska lodging and trip, big promo. I'm going to try to get 10 people to buy this package and make X amount of $1,000 and affiliate back. So I'm going to have them on, whoever's out there. I'm going to have that guide on the show for sure, talking it up. I'm going to have past people that have been on the trip talking about it. I'm going to talk
Mhm.
about, the 10 things you need to know when you're going fishing in Alaska, or like the 5 biggest mistakes that people make on this type of a trip, and just stir it up and stir it up and stir it up. And then have some sort of bonus promo, something where
Mhm.
maybe it's like you're promoting this experience in Alaska, but when people buy it during your window, you using your affiliate code or whatever, you're going to do a little bonus training with them, or you're going to get them
Yeah.
all on Zoom, and you're going to be like, now here's the real deal. I've been there before. I've talked to, or maybe the guide is going to meet with them and do a special extra little bonus training or something like
Mm.
that that they only get because they're connected to you in the show,
Okay.
like something like that.
I
So that
like that.
little extra thing, but just fire them up and fire, and just give them appetizers for a few
Right,
weeks,
right.
and then be like, and now it's coming. If you guys really think this is, because we don't want them to go and purchase outside of your little window.
Right, which is,
So
I think, what's kinda happening because
yeah,
I'm gonna give you a discount, say a 15% discount, but they may be able to get that somewhere else as well,
right.
or do a, "Hey, will you price match so and so?"
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So
but
I
I
think,
like that. That's an added value that somebody can't take
yes.
away from me.
Exactly, and they can only get it from you if you're doing it, or if you, maybe there's 2 trainings. It's one with you and one with, you get a little preview from the guide or whatever, and
Mhm,
just because of your connections, and you're, giving them free publicity on the show, and that's like an additional thing that where they're
mhm.
coming on the show to talk about the experience or whatever. But I would really view this like a campaign and just drive into it with the topic and with the conversations and with the add-ons, because you don't want to have a race to the bottom of discounted pricing. Like that's nobody
That's
wins
a
with that.
lose-lose, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you can add little bonuses, or maybe you film a little bonus online course of, the 10 fly fishing essentials for Alaska, and there's videos of you doing whatever it is that you do, your special herbs and spices that no one else does, and
Mhm.
the Christian method for tying,
Yeah.
the fly, whatever. I know people are
Yeah.
like obsessed with this in the fishing world. So,
They are, and
um,
I do some of that now. So I do one of the things that I aim towards, and I'd be interested in your feedback on, is when I contract with a service, I build out a kit that's like videos, articles, etcetera, and it's deemed as, here's everything you need to make a decision. So I'm trying to remove obstacles to make a
mm,
decision. But what I'm hearing you is not only do that, but also you have to add an additive that they can't get elsewhere.
yeah.
And that comes down to your clout and experience, because I have plenty of clout and experience that is recognized by the show and blogs, etc. But I don't think I'm leveraging that enough from what I'm understanding from you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would look at it like, for example, affiliate marketing in the business world. One of the most popular online entrepreneurs is a woman named Marie Forleo, and she does 1 to 2 campaigns a year where she releases her program called B School. And I mean, she makes millions of dollars off this thing because she has all these big name affiliates out there promoting it. But there are lots of big name affiliate partners actively
Mhm.
promoting it. Use my link, use my link.
Yeah.
And the ones that do really well are people like Amy Porterfield, who's another big name. But she goes,
Mhm.
if you use my link, you're going to get a 4-week training with me before B School even starts, with
Mm.
bonus guests and trainings. So no one can duplicate that. I mean, they can do their own thing, but if these are people that are obsessed with Amy Porterfield, they're like, I get a bonus, 28
With
days of Amy.
Amy?
This, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well, I've listened
that's,
to her. She's sharp.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
so that's like the angle that I would take with this is, what can you do that they can't copy, that they can't, try to price match and do all this stuff.
Hmm.
And you're adding all these bells and whistles, training with you, training with a guide, a bonus course or whatever, a bonus resource,
Yeah.
who knows? And then you're
Yeah.
not having to just out cheap everybody else.
Right. My mind's running and you got a lot of ideas going, but yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
good.
happens when we hang out, Christian. That's what
Yeah.
happens.
That's good.
Now, so I think looking at it from a perspective of a camp, or we're doing a campaign, a 6-week campaign, and a 12-week campaign with the content of your show, ultimately leading into this open window where if you buy now, you're going to get it doesn't have to be like a traditional, I assume like a trip sale is a little different than somebody buying an online course. Like an online course I can have open for a 10-day cart, but maybe you want to have your promo window open for 4 weeks or something like that, because people are like, I have to, check with travel and I have to do all this other stuff.
Right.
I have
It
to
gets
get off of
complex.
work, and
It's a
yeah,
complex sale. That's one of the
yeah,
very difficulties.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could offer something like, and if you sign up, if you come with friends, they all get invited to the bonus training too, or whatever. Like
Mm,
we'll do the training so you're all in there together, so that you can all ask questions. That way, it's kind of a group experience. And that'll save time for you, not having to do like individual stuff. But I
okay.
think it'll really set you apart, because everyone else is just like, oh, if you want to go do this, then here's my link, and that's it. And if you go into campaign mode and align your content with the campaign, that's really going to work. And then down the road, you could turn this into an evergreen funnel if you develop a lead magnet that is like related to that end result. So maybe the lead magnet is uh, 10 resources that you need to know before you do an Alaska fishing trip or something like that. And it's a
Hmm.
little checklist or training videos or whatever. You get people into that. Then there's an email funnel that peels off of that, where I would again reference podcast episodes that are very on topic for this, kind of stringing them down
Yeah.
that path. And then the end result is, and use this code to set up and get all your bonuses with the trainings with me and blah, blah, blah. And, or whether they are coming on like a discovery call with you to
Yeah.
get them set up or whatever. But then you could have that thing going year round. I think you could have campaigns like this.
And I'm doing that kind of now.
Yeah.
So I have a landing page, like you said. They get certain level of resources that are provided to them. The nice thing is I get re-listens on podcasts, so that
Mm-hmm.
drives up my DSAs.
Yes.
And then I also have affiliate programs associated to that, which are products that they can purchase whether they go with me or not. I think the big gap from what I'm missing is what you're referring to, and that was great advice. Is I don't have a value add that is hyper specific and only available with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Add
Okay.
that Christian B factor. Like
Yeah.
that's
Right.
what,
The
if you
special
want,
sauce.
exactly the herbs and spices. And like, yeah, you can go buy this from Joe the fly fisher down the road, but with me, you're getting this and this and this. And the cool thing about, if you build online resources, you don't have to build that once. So
Hmm.
I would build like a little arsenal of online goodies that you can mix and match with different things. But like, you get this resource list, you get this 10 video course I made on tying my very special fly fishing knot that only works in Alaska, or
Hmm.
what, like
Yeah.
things like. But you also get a live group training with me and or your guide or whatever. Like that way you have one bonus live factor that's getting some you time in there, and that drives sales more than anything. And then all these other little bonus things that are just evergreen that you can just toss into whatever offer that you're doing.
Right.
um, I mean, you could just spend a
And
year going, I'm going to do one of these campaigns per quarter, build out bonus resources. And then year after year, you continue to mix and match those bonuses with a little bit of live training. That's the only
right.
thing you have to do yourself is the live training. I like that a lot. And that is going to make you stand out, because a lot of these people will not do that kind of work. And I
No,
think you
no.
will.
And I do the webinars now. So I do paid webinars that are trainings now. So I could even say, get those free or a discounted price, et cetera,
Yes.
or have a group join, et cetera. I like those. And then
Yeah.
I also can benefit from reoccurring. Uh, most people that travel somewhere, they go there 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go there every year, if they really like it. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And Okay, the ideas are
I can
popping
pull
now.
in marketing advertising
Yeah, yeah,
from manufacturers,
yeah,
right? So I could say to, I got, 10 people that are going to Belize are all looking for, these $1,200 rods. Let's bring the rod company on. They could talk
yeah,
about the details on that. And,
exactly.
okay.
Exactly. So yeah, the ideas are flowing steadily now with this type of a campaign, with this type of an offer. I mean, what are you thinking? Do you feel like this is something that you're doing? You know, I think the key around this is gonna be organizing it. Like, do we do this once per quarter? Like in your mind, how is this taking shape of like I've got four kind of destinations that I want to send people, or four types of trips, or specific locations that I want to kind of try to drive traffic to. But how's that kind of formulating? I'm interested in
Yeah.
that part of this.
Um, I think starts out as like a one per quarter because of the effort required
Yeah.
to deliver a lot of the written products, etc. But then once you have that established, you can do that probably on a monthly basis.
Okay. Yeah.
So because some of them, I can run every week. I can run an event. It's
Right.
fine. Right?
Right.
There's no problem, especially if you're booking that many people. And really, it's only after you have them booked, it's 2 hours because you have an hour
Yeah.
session. You do an hour of preparation. You're done.
Yeah.
It seems like to me.
I mean,
Um,
I would kind of package yourself, and you may already be doing this, but like this experience to me, it's like you are their consultant. Like you're their fishing trip optimization consultant. And like we're
yeah,
gonna get the most out of this thing, and you're gonna have the best experience possible. And I'm gonna make damn sure of it.
right. And I do a lot of that now, and I even offer an extended package. It's a little more pricey where I'm their hosted advisor. So I actually go on the trip with them
There
and
you
I
go.
teach them techniques and yada yada yada. So that's
Yeah.
another element. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a great way to get your trip paid for. And
Yeah.
you get to have the experience and do what you love to do. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
And
the whole mantra
it's
of my
fun
show.
work. It's fun
Yeah.
work, right?
Yeah.
It's like this. You enjoy coaching. I enjoy being on a boat and coaching with someone and,
Yeah.
oh, try this or try that. Okay.
Yeah. It's the whole love it like a hobby, build it like a business thing. Like we can have both if we do it right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's so many cool possibilities. And I know how much money people are willing to drop on stuff like this.
Oh yeah.
Just like, I
You
mean,
go buy a new bow. It's not cheap.
yeah. And just on the experiences alone, like
Yeah.
yeah, just having access, people that have got a great spot and a great lodge and a great, and then you can all just do it right there. Just access is the key. So this is a home run. I mean, I think if you price it right, and especially like if you are able to get these people on your show and kind of market them and build that into the package, you
And I
should be able to
have
get a,
that
a good
now.
fee.
That's part of my lodge contractual agreements and guided contractual agreements is that they get a podcast where we do an interview. We talk
Good.
about it. They
Good.
also have the ability. I do two podcasts. I do a 45-minute interview podcast, and then I do a 2 to 15-minute tip episode, which is a
Good.
very specific tip. They also have the ability to provide me with tips that I'll run through in very high detail and provide as well, and then cite them as the provider. Um, so I think the elements, like you said, are there. I guess the next question, since that seems to be pretty well vetted, we've
Yep.
repeated that a couple times, would be driving traffic to and from the webcast or
Yeah.
podcast, right? So I have a pretty good download rate, but I know there are other shows out there. I look at a tool called, I think it's called Rejuvenate, and I could share that with you, but it shows the dotted lines between your show and the other shows that your listeners listen to. And I can tell there are other shows around there that they have quite a bit more listeners, et cetera. So I really want to try and drive up my listening. Now I'm doing that with my blog, but I took your notes on, hey, provide the what is it, speak pipe
Yeah.
ads. So I'm going to start doing speak pipe ads and things
Yeah.
like that. But
Yeah.
I'm curious from you, what other ideas might you have on, developing growth, et cetera, based
Yeah.
upon what we've so far discussed?
Yeah. So, I mean, the main 3 lanes we got to look at anytime we're talking growth are just online marketing strategies, mainly social media. What are we doing there? Then we look at leveraging other people's podcasts. How can we do that? Collaborations, guesting opportunities, things like that. And then paid ad strategies. So, the simplest one to me is the like podcast player app banner ads. Have you been in doing any of those sorts of things like Overcast FM or anything like that?
No, I'm
Okay.
not doing any ad types. Just to kind of give you a lay of the land. I As of late, it's been like one a week I get on another podcast.
Okay.
They're not always in my genre. It's difficult to get on them in my genre, but they're out there.
Yeah.
Um, then the other thing I do is social media. I have a pretty strict social media policy in Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I do all those quite heavily.
Okay.
Um,
Good. Good. I mean, it sounds like your guesting opportunities are there, and we could look at maybe getting on some bigger shows and things like that. I've got a few ideas on that, but like I would look at like an ad platform like Overcast FM. Go in the I think there's an outdoor category, outdoor and lifestyle or something like that, and you can pick which category that you want to run your banner ad. Spend a couple $100, and you're going to start getting subscribers off the ad. And I usually shoot for acquiring a new subscriber for $7 or less. They give you little projections for each category, and I'm like, all
mm,
right, and the price goes up and down. So I would look at Overcast FM. Another platform I've been using is Castro, Castro.fm. That's another podcast player app. You can run banner ads on that as well. And
mm.
I've been acquiring new listeners for about $4 per new subscriber on Castro. So that's a pretty
That's
good,
pretty good. Yeah.
yeah, pretty
Okay.
good rate. It's a newer app. I don't think it has as many listeners, but I mean, we're getting them, so that's good.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so just running a few hundred. I always have an ad going on some platform, just
Okay.
'cause you can just scoop up listeners, and these are like real listeners. People give me feedback. Oh, I found you on Overcast, or I found you on Castro, or Podcast Addict, or whatever.
Okay.
And because not everybody listens on Apple and Spotify. Like that's the bulk of it, and we want to have our SEO bases covered for that. But all these other platforms, the smaller ones, still have millions of people listening, and
Right.
that's
I
okay.
always look at that too, because you get lost with percentages on those, and
Yeah, yeah,
less than 1% of my people were coming from here, or less than 1% of the people listen on this. But you go, yeah, well, less than 1% still a million plus people.
exactly,
So yeah,
exactly.
okay.
So I would start there. It sounds like your social media game is good, and then with guesting, I would just look for opportunities. Like I would look at the categories that you're listed in on Apple and Spotify. Look at those top 200 lists and see what kind of shows are popping up, and look for collaboration opportunities with those types of shows. And I would start targeting shows and go, hey, this one's ranked number 75. I think that'd be a great guest for that show. Let's reach out to them. I don't ever reach out and ask to be a guest. I usually invite them to come on my platform first and go, hey, we'd love to have you on the show to talk about blah, blah, blah. I deliver, I make friends. I usually get an automatic invite. If I don't, I'd say, hey, if you're ever looking for somebody to come on your show and talk about, and I give them something real specific, I'd love to do that. Just keep me in mind. And about 80% of the time I get invited back on. So that's
That's kind of how I do it now,
yeah,
and
that's
it
an
happens
easy
pretty
technique.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
because you become a person.
yeah,
It's much easier.
exactly, exactly. You got to make friends first and add some value. So
Let me ask you this. One of the techniques I've been using has been to reach out to high profile bloggers, people who have really good authority within the industry, but in written content.
uh
And then I do swaps with them. So I
yeah,
say, hey, come on the podcast. We'll promote your blog and, make you a person, but at the same standpoint, let me guest post and backlink and do all those things
100%.
with you as well. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great strategy. The add value first, especially if they're a great fit for your show. You want to
Yeah.
collaborate with them, invite first, make friends, add value, and just build your legend.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
I
yeah,
provide, like, player links, et cetera, and then they can put them in their blog posts, and it
yeah.
gets
Make it
people
easy.
thinking about it, right?
Exactly,
Yep.
exactly. Well, cool. I think we got we packed in a nice set of strategies here. I think we
Yeah.
can definitely move the needle with monetization. I want to make sure that you get to shout out your website, your blog, and your show. So where do people go if they want to come and hang out in your world a little bit?
All right. Yeah, I'm Christian Bacassa, the host of the Fly Fishing Insider podcast. You can check us out on the web at www.ffipodcast.com or check us out on Instagram at Fly Fishing Insider Podcast. We'll see you soon.
All right, everybody, go check them out. And if you guys want to come on the show for a podcast audit session, we are booking for early 2024. Hop on the website, www.podcastingbusiness.school. And with that, I'm going to send you out in the world wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads. We'll see you next time.